Hello Nigeria, hello Africa, and hello Abuja. Well, this is the new dawn where we look at all that needs to be looked at in Nigeria and, of course, beyond. Now, as usual, my name is Philip Sliven, and I'm not alone. I'm together with the delectable.
Ah, you can say that again. My name is Chinon Sopam. Thank you for tuning in to New Dawn Nigeria this morning. And over the next 90 minutes, we'll be with you on your screens, on your TV screens, or on your phone screens, keeping you updated with what ensued in the nation throughout the past week. It's been an eventful week in the country. Don't you think so, Philip?
Somebody said ever since Tinubu got inaugurated, it's just back to back
It's back to back. It's been
updates.
drama.
You just
Yeah.
like, okay, what's next? What's next? Like this morning, my sister was like, I haven't. Are you sure Tinubu is back? I haven't heard
If not,
anything.
it's
And
because
I
he's been
said,
silent. Can just wait. Give him a breather. He's relaxing from the salah.
yes.
Something new. Something is coming. So, and I think something is happening that I'm seeing a lot of Nigerians now want to be updated. People are watching the news more. People are reading papers more, and I think it's good. People are interested in governance. People want to actually know what's happening.
Yes. Well, you can stay with us. We have a lot in stock for you. We have an interview with our reporter from the National Assembly, and of course, we have an artist who will be looking at a contemporary artist, by the way, who will be looking at his passion and what being an artist in Nigeria entails. Well, up next, we'll be looking at newspaper headlines that has been from Monday to Friday. That's from July 3rd, yeah,
Yep.
to July 7th. And we'll be giving you a little bit summary and analysis on that. Don't go nowhere.
Six four.
Well, it's still the new dawn on viewer television, and it's still Phillips Living and Nonsu at your service. Now, as I said earlier, we'll be looking at the newspaper headlines that have happened that from Monday being the third day of July to Friday being the seventh day. Now, remember, you can drop by any vendor close to you and get a copy, of course, just to know more about the story, or rather, it is the 21st century. Just drop by their e-platforms, just one click away, and you can get more of those stories there. Well, we're here to give you a summary, just a reminder of what happened all through. And if you want to catch up, thus for those that haven't been tuned with what is happening, well, we're here to inform you on what has been all true. Now, we'll be starting with Monday, that's the day of July 2023, and the top story there is talking about when Tinubu returned from his trip. President Bola Tinubu returned to Abuja from Lagos after 13 days when he left the nation's capital to attend the summit on new global financing pact in Paris, as the capital of France. And also large consignment of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, being imported by major oil marketers are to hit Nigeria from next week and may force down the price of commodity. Both major and independent dealers stated. Now, these are good news.
It's
Right?
good
So
news.
at least we are hopeful that it might reduce. But the problem about this is, no matter how the fuel price gets low, the goods and services are
Oh,
just
it
static
will
on their
still
price.
once things go up in Nigeria, they never come down.
Oh.
Even if the factors that are causing the prices to go up are remedied or are resolved, those prices of goods and services, they never come down.
All right, we hope for the best. Now, moving forward, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, that's JAM, has said it will prosecute one Chikeme Masoma for allegedly inflating her score from 249 to 362 in the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, thus parading herself as the 2023 UTM top scorer. That was when this whole drama started. And I was looking at one of the stories pointing the fact that they are not going to sue JAM. Me, I felt if I was in their shoe, definitely I'm suing JAM. If I know that that was my score, or the fault is not from
me,
or I didn't try anything shady as the JAM are claiming, definitely I'm suing JAM. And I'm suing them with the fact that they are paying me a certain fine just for me to calm down regarding the
this is coming down fee.
And of course to guarantee me that nothing will happen to my next if I'm to write again.
But I heard she's been banned for 3 years. Has that been lifted?
That means her current results will be suspended also in a way. If not,
oh really? Even her 249?
If not, why would she be looking for JAM again when she has that score and she could get into another university? You know, as much as universities will be like, so you're the one that's been having issues with JAM.
And that's even something.
How are we sure you won't have problem with
That's something to consider. JAM is as if JAM have told themselves, you're not going to get admission. We know that it's a given that you hardly get admission, so you're banned for 3 years.
That's like, I feel that's harsh. In as much as there are news coming up that the Senate are asking for lenient and of course probe into that matter, but regardless, I feel that was very harsh for someone at her age. You understand? Imagine dragging someone. They are dragging her for 3 years, and you know the system also will drag someone. If you're after 4-year course, the system will make it 8 or 9 or 10. You understand? And she already has 3 years.
3 years.
Imagine
she's
going
to be dragged for another 8 to 10 years.
That's a lot. Moving forward, the Nigerian Labour Congress is set to engage President Bola Tinubu on the agitation for extension of civil servants' retirement age to 65. I feel every after for 4 months, Labour usually maybe go to their archive and think like,
what can we do to shake this place? How can we just shake things up in this place?
Just when you thought, okay, they are battling with this, they will just come up with another thing. All right, now the presidency has rejected a report of the European Union on the outcome of the 2023 general elections. In its final report on the Nigerian elections, the EU had said trust in the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, had been sincerely damaged, especially as a result of the failure to upload the result of the presidential election electronically. All right, now former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, meanwhile, has hailed the European Union Election Monitoring Bureau for stating in its report that the last election was indeed fraught with irregularities and failed to meet the minimum standard of credibility. Now, regarding this last election, this is what I noticed. If you look at the presidential election, you will see this party are complaining that no,
it's in my favor.
Yes. If you look at gubernatorial and other ones, you see it's the other party that are complaining. Then you wonder which one is right.
And I think that's why.
And at the end, those that voted possibly didn't vote.
But any of these people, we're going to find out, because like when INEC and the APC are coming out to say, why will the European Union bring out such a report? And Atiku is saying, yes, it is good that, like, it is about where it favors you. and where it doesn't favor you. And because this is the first time that I am hearing Nigerians question something that is done by the European Union or the United Nations, any international body. This is the first time, and it is because whatever they are saying is not in our favor. And like everybody will see, this they brought out recommendations. That is what we should focus on, not on whether they said. I don't know if they feel that their statement is going to influence the tribunal. We don't know if that is why, but can we just focus on the recommendations, because that's the take home.
There will be effective change.
Yes, that's the take home that we should get from this.
All right. Finally, on Monday, more than 50 names of military officers across the three services of the Nigerian Armed Forces, that's Army, Navy, and Air Force, have been penciled down. That's for promotion following the deadline given to the top generals to exit the service. That's the deadline that was on Monday.
Yeah, so that's what happens in the military when there are new people. I don't know why that is so. I think it's a waste of people's intellect. It's a waste of generals, asking generals to retire because people lower than them in the ranks have to be in places of authority. You're telling them to move away, but in a good way, it now makes room for promotion for other people.
Yes,
because people now have to be promoted. Yes, so I guess that there's no blanks. Nothing is left blank.
Maybe you should help us.
All right, let's move on to 4th of July. President
Tuesday.
Bola Tinubu, Tuesday, 4th of July, President Bola Tinubu on Monday met the nation's service chiefs for the first time since their appointment and charged them to work as a team to deliver on their assigned responsibilities. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, who led the chiefs to the meeting, told State House correspondents that they would work tirelessly to ensure peace in the country. We're hopeful for that. Ahead of the resumption of the Senate, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party has resolved to transmit a letter to the Senate President, that's Godswill Akpabio, to stay action on filling the position of the Senate minority leadership of the upper legislative chamber. This was part of the decision taken by the National Working Committee of the party on Monday. There's a lot of drama to this, and that's part of what we're bringing to you later on today. Yeah. So moving on, the Presidential Election Petition Court, presided by Justice Haruna Samani, admitted in evidence the final report of the EU Observer Mission on the last general election. And back on the JAM story, A.G. Kemem Mesoma, student of Anglican Girls Secondary School, Newi, Anambra State, so that's where she's from, who was accused of inflating her Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination results, said she printed her result from JAM portal, adding that she was not capable of forging her results. And still on Tuesday, Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State has ordered a probe into the controversy trailing the Unified Tertiary Examination result of a pupil from the state. So that's the follow-up story to that. And lastly, on Tuesday, several persons were on Monday trapped in a 4-story building that collapsed at Life Camp Jabi, Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. It was gathered that the building, which was still under construction, collapsed at about 4 p.m. while the workers were working on the site.
It's sad that this thing keeps repeating itself in a short period of time.
Especially in Abuja.
You understand? It's the sound aspect also of it is you don't hear if you hear that in other states. Maybe it happens, but it doesn't get to the news. But if you hear that on other states, you might think, okay, they are using substandard contractors. But I want to believe in a situation where it happens in Lagos, in Abuja, we should possibly or be having one of the top contractors in Nigeria who are usually the ones handling buildings.
Yeah.
But it's funny again how it is the same place that we're having
keeps
issues
happening.
like that.
I think people just want to cut corners a lot. Isn't there a regulatory body? And then sanction people. If you sanction people, I believe that those coming behind, they will take redress. Seize people's certificates or their licenses. I don't know what it is now for the engineers. Like if you don't have a current certificate, you will not be given some high level of projects to manage.
You know, as much
Like,
as, yes, even with the current certificate, there are certain standards that you have to reach that you should be maintaining. If it's not
maintaining,
this,
yes.
and
Because
that's
we're
not
talking
good.
about lives. It happens with workers. So what if the building had just remained stable, and then when people move in and moving with property, and then everybody, oh well,
Well,
that's sad.
there's a follow up of that story. That's for Wednesday. That's the 5th day of July
Yeah.
2023, where the Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, Adeshola Olushade, said an investigation had commenced to unravel the immediate remote causes of the four-story building collapse in Life Camp in Gwarinpa district of the FCT. And also, President Bola Tinubu has said Nigeria needs all the help that can get at the moment. The president said this while receiving visiting Bank of America officials in his office at the State House, Abuja. Also, the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, expressed anger over the new leadership of the National Assembly announced by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, that's Tajuddin Abbas. Don't forget, we'll have more analysis on that. That's from our in-house reporter who is already in the studio. An update on the JAB issue, Ms. Masoma Ejike, who was accused of Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board of forging her results to emerge the highest score, is not seeking legal redress. Father Romanus Ejikeme said. As I said, if that's my daughter, as Elon Musk said, we're meeting in the cage.
We're going to meet in the cage.
Now, Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested the former Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in the state, Idris Wada Saleh, over alleged fraud of that's during the past administration during the time of Ganduje. Well, moving forward, maybe you help us with the 6th of July.
All right, so let's move on to 6th of July 2023. Senate Majority Leader Michael Bamidele said that there was no criminal charges against President Bola Tinubu in any United States court. I'm sure that news came out where he said he was, but I think he was trying to address that was a personal issue. It is not something that can be held against him as a criminal charge,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, and I think cases like that can happen even if somebody was in court. It doesn't mean it was for fraud.
As they said,
Or-
it's a civics. I forgot the statement that was used regarding that. but
Yeah, because
something-
it could be just something had to be settled with the government and the court. We don't have the details of that, but
No, but there was an extent detail on why the $450,000 was held by the government. There was a statement, a circular, I forgot.
I think that was the amount for the forfeiture of that building or something like that money. I'm not really clear on that, but let's hope that it is not really a fraud allegation, really.
No, it wasn't actually. It wasn't actually a fraud.
Fraud.
It was. I think it was inside his. It was inside his account. But anyway, let's move.
We shall know that there's some money thing and there's some government case in America. All right, let's move on. The Progressive Governors Forum has pledged to intervene in the conflict between the ruling or Progressive Congress and the presiding leaders of the National Assembly over the choice of principal officers. I will still remind you anytime this gist comes up that we have details of this in an interview after this segment. The Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, that's PCACC, say forensic analysis, has confirmed that the dollar videos of ex-governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje were not doctored.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but anybody who even a 3-year-old will look at that video and know that that's real.
Yeah, it's real. There's no CGI, anything happening there. That was real. Why would we doctor that and put you inside to act? We doctor it and make
Anyway,
you to act.
it's possible, but
All right.
let's allow the legal to find.
Yeah,
legal
yeah,
aspect
yeah.
to finalize,
Yeah, yes.
whether he's guilty or not.
All right, so still on the news, there is no respite yet for electricity consumers, with distribution companies Disco still pushing ahead with their bid for federal government's approval to raise the tariffs. We're hoping this swings in our favor because costs plenty. All right, Kwara State government has announced the reversal of the directive reducing work days from 5 to 3 for civil servants.
I mean that there was a time that we were hailing his move. I don't
Yeah.
know why he decided to reverse. Maybe the workforce. I don't know what happened.
But you know, I'll still say this for some reason. I'm happy about this because I feel like if you get things like staff bus and everything to help with transportation, it is far better than making people sit at home unproductive. It will still not be good for the state. If civil servants are responsible somehow for something they have to do daily that generates IGR for the state and they are home 2 days a week, it will tell in the state finally. It will finally get to tell, and that won't be good for the state. So let me close up on 6. State governments have directed residents living around floodplains and erosion spots to vacate these danger zones before it is too late. And the world record holder Toby Amosun has emerged national champion for the 4th consecutive time. We're so proud of her. At the women's 100 meters hurdle of the Nigerian Athletics Championship in Benin, clocking a time of 12.70 seconds under drizzling rain. We can hardly walk in the rain. Like, we're always looking for shelter, and she's doing 100 meters hurdle. Amosun, we're really proud of you.
Yes.
All right, so
And
Phillips,
let's
to you.
let's take the final day. That's for 7th July 2023. That's Friday. President Bola Tinubu has approved the plans for the 2023 national census. It was sustained. It was halted before. That's during the President Muhammadu Buhari. He said the next administration will handle that. Well, Tinubu is, however, expected to fix a new date for the national population and housing census. Recall that the initial date set for its conduct was postponed indefinitely in April this year. Now, for what's trending, the President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, and former Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo have joined 13 million others in Meta owned Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp new platform called Thread. We also have analysis on that also later. Well, the organized private sector welcomed the tax suspension announced by President Bola Tinubu, noting that they showed the federal government was sensitive to the challenges facing businesses and citizens. And also, to boost manufacturing and the ease of doing business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed 4 executive orders. That's the motive of the executive orders, which suspended some key taxes, is to boost economic activities and reduce hardship, the presidency said. And the All Progressive Congress in Kano State has asked the immediate past governor of the state, that's Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, not to honor the invitation extended to him by the State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission, that's PCACC, over the controversial dollar video. And finally, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has revealed that it will commence the prosecution of the resident electoral commissioner for Adamawa State, Huduyinu Sa'ari, in line with the Electoral Act 2022 next week. The commission rules from its regular weekly meeting and resolved to 6-count charge against him at the Adamawa State High Court sitting in Yola. Well, that's all we have for the newspaper headlines. A summary of that. That's from Monday 3rd to Friday 7th in review. As I keep saying, any vendor close to you, you can go there and get a copy and of course find out more on that story, or rather their e-platform, and get those stories there. Up next, we'll have our National Assembly report here in the studio, which will be looking at the ups and downs that has been happening all through, I would say, the start of the 10th National Assembly, and particularly the case of parties going against each other ever since there has been that factor of majority and of course minority leader in the state. Don't go nowhere.
Welcome back. You're still watching New Dawn Nigeria on Viewer Television, the program where we keep you updated on the things you need to know that ensued in the nation in the past week. And now we know the 10th Assembly have been on recess for a bit and they just resumed plenary sessions last week, and they started with the emergence of the principal officers of the National Assembly. Here to give us the details of everything that has happened during plenary sessions in the National Assembly is our in-house correspondent of the National Assembly, or from the National Assembly, Nsikak Evans. You're welcome this morning, Nsikak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
good to
Philip.
have you.
Usually we only usually play your reports, but it's good at least our viewers out there will know who is in charge or sending us.
Yes,
all-
put a
all-
face behind
Yes.
Nsikak.
The reports we usually get from the National Assembly.
Sincerely, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. All right, so without further ado, it's been a lot in the National Assembly this past week, and we and our viewers were here to get, let's put it like this, we're here to get the gist. So give us the download of everything that has been
First-hand information.
happening. Yes, yeah, this is first-hand information. There's no hearsay in this. So give us what has been happening from beginning of plenary on Monday. You said it started Monday, right?
Tuesday.
Plenary resumed. Oh, resumed on Tuesday,
Yes.
not Monday. All right, so
Yeah, well, a whole lot has been happening. A whole lot. Starting with after, the emergence of the Speaker and President of the Senate, they went on break, the Salah break, and now they are back. And first and foremost, the principal officers in the Senate and in the House of Reps, that has been done. So, but currently, what Nigerians are waiting for is the constitution of standing committees. Right now, we have had committees, media, and some few other ones. So, hopefully, they are open. Nigerians are hoping that maybe before they go on the long recess, of course,
yeah,
those committees, the committee chairman and the vice chairman will be constituted, because of course the power of the committees. They are in charge of, aside from oversight functions. I'm sure by that time too, the president must have also gotten the ministers in place, because the ministers has to be in place for the
For
committee
the committee,
chairman
okay, to
or
have
each of the
something
committees to go
to
ahead for their
deliberate on.
oversight functions.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't what, but you said there was a little bit of. So we know that there's been some rancor in the House of Reps. You said it's about their sitting arrangements or something. But first, let me ask: the principal officers have emerged. Is there any issues regarding those who have emerged in the House of Reps as the leader and the minority leaders and all of that?
For now, I don't think there is any issue, especially concerning the minority.
Okay.
Yes, and except for maybe the majority, which where the national chairman came up disregarding those that were called as their majority leaders in the Senate and in the House of Representatives.
Okay.
Aside from that,
There's no issue. So you were saying something about their seating arrangements or something. Can you tell us about that? Because Philip, do we have seating arrangements? Like we'll have to switch and see what benefits come from sitting there.
Well, concerning that, it was a little uproar on Tuesday. When the Senate, the lawmakers came in the House of Representatives, looking at how, of course, there are new returning lawmakers and there are actually new ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so and there's this principle or called ranking in the House, either in the House of Senate. So, of course, on that day they resumed plenary. It was filled to the brim, all lawmakers ready to work, ready to come prepared, come ready. Only for a few of them who were not accommodated in the makeshift chamber that which they are currently on now, who were upstairs, were told to go to the gallery. And as at the time the speaker was speaking, most or few of them, let's just say few of them, could not hear what the speaker was saying, and that really caused uproar.
Why are they in a makeshift?
Okay.
What happened to?
The main chamber itself, both in the Senate and in the Green Chamber, they are currently going on. They are currently under renovation, and then this has been happening for over almost a year now or more than, but they've given the National Assembly management the assurance, those who are actually going on doing the renovation, that hopefully before they resume after this long recess, hopefully this month, and by the time they resume from the long recess, they should be coming into the new chamber.
Okay.
Because right now that place is still under renovation.
So it means there's a rancor of where to sit.
Yes,
where
where to
it's
sit.
expected to
Aside
continue.
from where to sit, they are also looking at the issue of their offices. Because looking at the offices right now, every lawmaker should have an office to operate from. But right now they are coming from their houses or maybe hotel for some of them.
Why? What happened to the offices that were there already? That has been there that were occupied by the previous
Lawmakers. Well, I think this is one thing Nigerians have actually been, trying to find out why is it taking them time and all. This is just because for every lawmaker that comes into the National Assembly, comes in fresh, the legislative aide, secretary, and every other person that is attached to that lawmaker, and then there is an offices. For every offices, of course, there's furniture, there is TV, tables, what have you, but what is really an issue for some Nigerians is the fact that for every lawmaker that ends his tenure, goes home with those office equipment, including the printer, the system, the TV, the chairs.
Office equipment.
Yes.
Is it that they are the ones
They
who
go home
bought
with these
it
things.
and kept it there, or is it
No, these things
the
were bought
taxpayers'
by.
money that?
Yeah, of course, it's taxpayers' money bought by the National Assembly, the institution. And so, of course, maybe as a new person, a lawmaker, you felt okay, your office also should be new. But I want a new freezer, I want a new chair, I want perhaps maybe there's bed bug in this other one, or sound bug, or whichever thing. Everyone wants to keep his office afresh, and of course, who is paying that? It's the National Assembly through taxpayers' money. So for every lawmaker that spent the first the 4 years that is the lifespan of every legislature,
Yeah.
goes on with these things.
So,
It's been cleared, and
if-
then
okay, sorry.
and then it means the National Assembly will have to buy new sets of this freezer, this chairs, this what have you, that constitutes items in an office.
Is it like a law, or is it something that they just decided to do on their own? Like, is it like stated, like, okay, if you're going, you go out with your things because you are the one who used it, so you have
Yes.
liberty to go with it.
Yes.
Is it like a law? Is it something that it's a must?
No,
or is it?
sincerely, it has always. I really don't know. Maybe it's a law, because it's a different ball game. If it's a law and it's a different ball game, it's where you call it the tradition. As such that if you come into a new place, of course, you want to put it in your own taste. Perhaps maybe your seat should have a cushion, or maybe you are the type that doesn't have a cushion on your own seat. So that means you have to get what you want, and this is what you tell the National Assembly.
That
This
you
is
want.
the kind of things I want.
So getting what,
know.
saying that I want my space in this particular arrangement or have this particular equipment to aid my work. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Why are the outgoing lawmakers moving with those properties?
Why wouldn't they just
Why wouldn't they
auction
leave
it
them?
or
Why are they not auctioned them? Exactly.
Well, really, that's the truth. Things like that should be auctioned. to it might not really go to Nigeria. It might also maybe the bureaucracy for those working within the ambit of the National Assembly,
Yeah.
maybe staff of National Assembly. Those are the ones that should ordinarily benefit. But these items were dropped in the office of a lawmaker. So the lawmaker chooses to either give it out or go away with it.
So the continuing lawmakers now, those who have been re-elected again, do they
everything
change
happen new.
again?
Of course.
They all change it
They
again.
all change everything. Because that lawmaker, where his particular office in this assembly might be another office in another assembly.
another-
It might not be that
okay.
lawmaker might stay in that same office.
So there's a total
There's
revamp
a
every 4 years.
renovation, They revamp everywhere, like overhauling the whole process, you know.
So now for lawmakers that are returning, they too also will have to take it back home and wait for the government to buy new ones
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
either you take it home or you give it out.
Wow.
And then that naturally leads to this issue of why Nigerians are really clamoring for, this cost of governance is just
Yeah.
becoming too much, because this is part of aside from the sirens of number of cars that follows whoever, but little things like this, like those office equipments and the likes, should be should be reused by whoever is coming in. Because why would you, after 4 years of using a printer, and you throw it out and you're buying another one? Because this is the same thing that comes on whenever a ministry or agency or parastatals is coming for budget defense. They keep repeating in typewriter or computer,
Yeah.
something that has been
Yeah.
that I'm sure they are not even going to buy. They keep repeating in the budget. Those are the things that we are really praying that this 10th National Assembly will really look at.
That's even aside their own house
Allowance.
Allowances
all
and
that.
everything. Yeah.
Because,
Because if the government, like everybody's saying, if the government is asking Nigerians, because we know it's a hard time, all the subsidies and all the current reforms and policies is making life hard for Nigerians, and because we're optimistic,
Yes.
we're beginning to adjust and beginning to make the sacrifices that the
Yes.
president has asked us to do. Why
Yes.
wouldn't our leaders stretch a little bit and make those sacrifices? Why wouldn't they?
well, I am optimistic that very soon, very, very soon, the cost of governance should be, we are looking at the possibility of reduction in cost of governance. A typical example, just like I'm sure you must have heard about it, the former governor of Ogun State, Senator Benga Daniels, who had recently, told the state that henceforth, please suspend any further pension that's accrued to the office of
Yeah.
the former governor. And then many Nigerians will say, wow, that's really, really nice.
Commendable.
yes.
It's really, really commendable. Because if you look at the present situation, the sitting arrangements, or those who are actually in the Senate right now, we have more than 15 ex-governors who are not just getting their pension as a former governors, they're also being paid as a lawmaker, eating from two pots.
Yeah.
That's why most time they tell you, okay, go and do, go this Bureau of Public Enterprise, declare your assets, do all those things, so that you know that this is what you are here to do as a lawmaker. Face it.
So that
So
we know.
we pray that other ex-governors
We'll
should
pick initiative from what he has
from
done.
what Otunba Gbenga Daniels.
Yeah, so
Senator
you
Gbenga
you mentioned something about the Senate, and I think we know you're at the House of Reps, but it's
Yes.
okay that we take you
Yeah,
on
we
to
can talk about it.
to the red chambers. Okay, so we know that the minority leader emerged also this week, talking about Senator Simon Davo,
Simon,
right?
yeah.
Yes, and we know there was a lot of rancor too about his emergence and where his loyalty is placed and all that. Can you just give us an update of what that was?
Oh, okay. Looking at that, for the position of the minority, the good thing for the minority, let's say particularly the PDP, would say that there is um, no misunderstanding, so to say, because for the minority leader to emerge, it's either going to be, in fact, it's not either, it's a must, and it's through nomination. So once they nominate you, you stand up, somebody seconds that nomination, and then you who was nominated, you then accept that nomination, which is what played out. They followed the House rules.
And he was nominated.
And yes, that he was nominated. And then looking at the federal character principle, the principle of federal character from his region, and looking at the hierarchy of governance from the president down to the vice to the, so the people from that particular region deemed it fit, okay, let's just consider a person who is actually from this region. But maybe the party could have probably wanted someone else, because there are other political elites in that Senate. There are other stronger hands too. But like we always say, every senator, each of them, they are equal. Anybody can become the president of the Senate.
Doesn't
Anybody,
matter if this is your first term or
no.
What?
No. There's this ranking of a thing that has to do with being a principal officer, but it doesn't really really affect them, because they, as a National Assembly, you have the rules of the Senate, you have the Senate standing rules, and that of the House of Representatives, which gives them the autonomy to choose whoever they want to become their principal officers. So basically, and that was what really played out. There was a nomination, and maybe there could be some people from other quarters of the PDP that probably would have preferred someone else. It all depends. You can't please everybody, but the truth is that the lawmakers will, at the end of the day, determine who is in charge of the affairs of the legislature.
yeah.
But again, in as much
No,
as
sorry.
the PDP have more representative to other political parties in
Yes.
that place, but are they the ones who are supposed to justify? Like, are they supposed to have the final say? I thought it's supposed to be
Yeah,
a
it's a
collective.
combination of the minority parties. That's apart from the PDP, the LP, NPP, YPP, about 6 of them.
So they all
So
come
they all
together
come
to make
together
this.
to make the minority. Because there's this balance in the legislature that the minority have their say while the majority have their way.
Oh.
So if you are as a minority, you can say, okay, do this, but the majority will always have their way, because most times, oftentimes, it's always on a voice vote. It's always, and of course, whoever is presiding is from the majority, so they always have
You're
their
always
way.
here. Okay, so I know that Senator Simon Davos emergence as the minority
Leader.
now was constitutional, right?
Yes,
So why
according
don't
to
the
the
P,
Senate
according
rule.
to the Senate rules and the House of the Senate rules, why does PDP as a party have a problem with his emergence? Because some people have come out to say he wasn't loyal, he didn't do this, he didn't meet this person to tell him. Why does the party have that? Where should our focus be? Is it on the House constitution or on loyalty?
Okay, of course, every lawmaker will always say that the party is supreme. It was the party that brought you to that place where you are, and at most times, the party might want to dictate to you that this is what you should do. But sincerely, your constituents voted you,
Yeah.
but for you to be a principal officer, you need your fellow lawmakers. So, looking at the issue of PDP, well, there have not been any major issues in terms of maybe the National Working Committee coming out to reject those that have been nominated as a principal officer, both in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, unlike that of APC. So I believe for that of PDP, there's really no issue.
There's really no issue.
Really no issue.
Okay, so that brings me to asking this question that apart from it seems like there's PDP, they're just being sentimental, or we're thinking of a tickle, or we're doing this. So let's say that the tribunal does not go in PDP's favor. We know that right now they are the most critical in opposition.
Yes.
Shouldn't they begin to stand as an opposition in the government? And we know what opposition, I don't mean opposition in the sense that you just want to counter everything that somebody is saying, but you are actually the opposition party to see that these people go things right. Shouldn't they begin to look in that direction and finally just begin to calm down on all these, if you ask me, sentimental issues?
Yes, you're very correct. So the truth is that because from the emergence of these guys who are the majority or the minority leaders in the House and the Senate, there are issues in terms of okay, is it going to be a rubber stamp minority, because they are the ones who are supposed to keep the majority on their toes, check balancing, ensuring that the right thing is done. And then so they've actually categorically come out to say that it's not going to be business as usual. It's not going to be just like a rubber stamp legislature, but they will do the right thing to meet the aspirations and yearnings of Nigeria. Because let's just give them the time.
Yeah, because that's our
and
expectation.
For the benefit of doubt, and see how every other thing plays out. Don't forget that in the House of Reps, about more than 20 motions came out on Thursday, and more than half of those motions were talking about insecurity in the country, within both Abuja and every other part of the country, which they are really, they want the government of the day to make sure that this issue of insecurity is tackled squarely. And then also on Thursday, the president did send the names of those he has nominated as the chief, the service chiefs has been sent to the National Assembly, both chambers for confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay, now the minority is supposed to be the minority leader is supposed to be picked by the minority parties.
Yes.
Do you think there's that possibility that APC somehow manipulated
By influencing that position?
influencing that position?
Well, I believe that the only external forces that could have influence on who becomes the minority leader would be from all the parties who are actually the minority parties, just like we did mention earlier, the LP, YPP, the rest of ANPP and likes. So those are the ones are likely to have the strong impact when it comes to influencing who becomes who in terms of the minority. But the APC has theirs to do. They has to just focus on who becomes the principal officer, who has become now the principal officer, because like I said, the National Working Committee did kick against for the majority, but that is not the case for the minority. That shows this unanimous agreement between the minority parties, which is according to the rules of the Senate or the House, that whoever becomes the minority leader is being chosen from the minority parties. So those are the people I'm thinking they should have the strong impact in terms of influencing who becomes the principal officers in the minority party, Senate or House of Representatives.
So there's no possibility that you think also the minority will have been influenced, possibly monetary or financial.
Well, it's possible. Let me take you back to what happened in the 9th House of Representatives, where many of them had thought that the current minority leader, now Honorable Chimda, was supposed to have been declared as the minority leader back then in the 9th House of Representatives. But someone else was called, which was Honorable Elumelu, Ndudi Elumelu. You know, of course, there were fracas, there was friction at the moment, at that point. And before you knew it, everything was
Honorable
settled.
Chinda was the person nominated.
Yes, Chinda was also really expected according to the party this time around. But now, like we said, that the members has the supreme powers to say this is who we want. You know, at that first instance where Honorable Chinda was not called as the minority leader, there was a little frictions here and there, you know, but until things were eventually sorted out. And now in the 10th House of Reps, he's now the minority leader. So things evolved. Of course, there will be influence. Whether the APC could have had influence on the smaller minority parties, it could be possible. But you know, politics is all about interest. Influence too can be attached to it.
Okay.
All right. So, but we're really hoping that there wasn't an external influence. Because from this conversation right now, I am hoping that if there was any influence, it should have been from the PDP or from someone of the minority parties, so that we can have a genuine opposition, right? So that we can have genuine opposition.
Yes, because really there are fears that would this set of minority in the Senate or now stand their ground in ensuring that the right thing is done, in ensuring that what the legislature is doing is nothing else but meeting the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. So hopefully, time will tell. Let's just see how it evolve.
Thank you so much, Nsikak, for coming here. We feel like we've been part of the parliament for the past 1 week. Yeah, you've kept us up to speed, and I know that you've done the same thing for our viewers, but unfortunately, that's all we can take right now on this segment. There's still more coming your way on New Dawn Nigeria. Please do stay tuned. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're still watching New Dawn Nigeria on Viewer Television. We have with us in the studio today, this morning, Tolulope Daramola. He is a contemporary virtual artist, and he's here to tell us about his form of expression of art. You're welcome to the studio, Tolu.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring our invite. So let's start by asking you what medium of expression of art that you are focused on. Because I know that when we say somebody is an artist, it
means a lot.
It means a lot.
It can be a theater artist, it can be a graphic artist, it can be a sculpture. It has so many forms under it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My form of art is contemporary art. Contemporary art is a form of art that tells stories of our people, like everyday people. That's my own relining of my own heart. I tell stories of everyday people. There are a lot of people that don't get heard. So I feel as an artist, our duty is to tell their stories, even when a lot of people may not be interested, but we'll push it out beautifully. That's our duty as an artist.
Oh, I like that, pushing it out beautifully. See, what's your medium of expression of art? I know, like, what's the medium of expression? Like, how do you paint? What do you use to paint? What do you use to draw?
Okay, my main medium, I express myself usually with charcoal, acrylic, oil paints, and at times pastel too, pastel chalks.
Okay, let's talk about how you started this whole thing. Is it that you went to the school? Is it that it was self-taught? Is it something that you developed a passion for as you were going?
Okay, fact is I don't have a formal education in art till now. I don't know about tomorrow. But for now, I don't have a formal education. I'm a self-taught artist.
Okay.
I developed interest in it when I was 7, or maybe earlier than that. I don't know, but that was when I became conscious of it. I do it when I'm bored.
Oh,
Yeah, as a child, as a young chap, I was always there, maybe alone a lot of times. And even when I'm with people, I want to talk, but I don't know, could be shy or something.
yeah.
So I prefer to talk to whatever people I have around me.
Okay.
So I pick a pen, draw whatever on the pen in class. I remember verbal reasoning in primary school. We're always there doing stuff on it. And I think that was how it started, and we found ourselves here.
Okay. So you mentioned something about your form of art is giving, expressing people
Yeah.
beautifully in a way that people who are not being heard, because I have this I don't know if I'll call it something complex about interacting with art. You see people come into a museum and the rest, and they're intently looking at a piece of art and they're trying to dissect what's happening. Like I personally don't know how to interact with art like that. So how do we interact with art? How are we supposed to know how to read the artist's mind through the form of art?
Thank you. I think there is no specific way to read an art, right? I'll streamline it to my own art.
Okay.
My kind of art is meant to is meant for you to see it and question yourself. What's going through this artist while painting? What's going through his mind while painting this? That's my style. Well, that's what my style says. And if you're seeing an art, it could mean something to you and mean something else to another person. That's why it's not straight jacket.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not expected to exactly understand your mind. So
Yeah.
it's about whatever I am getting.
Yeah, it's like an open-ended book novel. When you read some novels, what it means to you may be different. How you see it may be different, and why someone else is reading it may be different too.
Okay. Okay. So we know that there's especially in Nigeria, people have worries of the world and worries of adulting. So I sometimes feel like people don't even have the time to pay attention to art. So that brings me to asking, how is the acceptance of art in Nigeria?
Fact is, times have changed. Times have changed. When I was younger, I think my first jump, I can put that in. My first jump, I tried putting in
Fine art.
visual and applied
Visual,
art.
okay.
Yeah. Then my father said, if you really want to study art, I prefer to give you an amount of money, then you open a shop by the road or something. So that was his thought. That was how he sees artists, right? So a lot of people, and maybe till now, but it's different now, like those days. A lot of people still see artists as this one does not have future. Yeah. I have someone, the father told him back then, just if you know you want to waste your future, waste it on something else, not you messing up everywhere with paint or something.
Yeah, it's always
So I
seemed
feel
like that.
times have changed. People are coming to accept that artists are not people without future, broke people, because my father will always want me to be a doctor. Feels like doctors have money.
Yeah.
Lawyers, bankers.
Yeah,
lawyers,
they always want to be a
engineers
doctor, be a
and
lawyer, take art as a hobby,
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
career.
But times have changed now. Artists now have private doctors for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. Artists now employ lawyers. Yeah.
Employ accountants.
Employ accountants. These are the subjects, courses that our parents wanted us to, wanted to force us to do back then. Yeah. Because my father saw something sometimes and he was like, oh, this from your heart too. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, it felt like maybe I was into fraud or something, or
Oh.
yeah. So I had to sit him down like, okay, bro, oh sir, this this is not 1985. Even in 1985, masters, Elanatu, Baba Bruce, a lot of them have been doing wonderfully well as at then, but maybe the culture wasn't well spread enough in Nigeria back then, unlike now. Right now, I'm sure if you go to a school, put up 10 boys, I'm sure you pick one or two of them that wants to be an artist.
I want to be an artist.
Why? Because they have seen examples, they have seen things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be going on a quick breather, and when we return, we'll be hearing more from the artist. Don't go nowhere. Well, welcome back. It's still the new dawn, and we've been having an extensive interview with Olulokpe, our contemporary artist, and has been telling us about how he has been going through that, particularly with the stereotype factor in Nigeria. Now, moving forward, sir, we know materials. Some of the materials are not materials that we find in Nigeria. How are you finding that talking about challenges, coping with the fact that the importation price for some things has increased, so definitely price also for such materials have increased.
Thank you. Talking about materials, I think that's been a major issue for a lot of artists. At least thank God for a few merchants around town that at least helps us to ship it in wholesales. Then we find a way to reach out to them, and the ones we can't get there, we do it on our own. But the major issue we've been facing, right, it's the exchange rate. We all know that what that is. Imagine buying something for $1,000 or maybe $800 in the US, but you know how much that is in Nigeria. That's a whole lot of chunk of money in Nigeria here. So that's like a major issue. Yeah. But far from that,
But are they readily available? Despite the price and all, do you still find them
they
so
are
you can
readily
afford them? They are readily available
outside. And a lot of times too, we get them around, maybe outward or just around.
Okay, so let me ask you said you're a self-taught artist.
Yes.
And like we were having the conversation before we came live, I was asking you if art can be taught as a skill. We know we learn art in school and all that, and you were saying that every child is an artist, but we still see, is that somebody who maybe you don't have a passion for arts and all of that, even if you have it in you, you can be taught and you be good at it?
Art is a skill. Yeah, it's a talent. Yeah, it's a talent, but it's a skill that can be developed. It's a matter of interest. Because a lot of people, though, as much as I'm concerned, I feel like you can't stumble on art. You can't stumble on just being creative. It's something that needs a daily development. You know, one of my mentors said, if you want to be a good artist, you must get dirty every day.
Yeah.
Touch paint every day. That's to show that for something you claim to have passion for, you must do it every day. Practice. You're talented, but you don't work. How does that? Doesn't even match. So I feel art it's a skill that can be developed, and for those that are talented too, you have to develop the talent. Talent is just raw; it needs to be processed.
So talking about developing it, at what age would you prescribe people begin to develop themselves towards being skillful in art? Like, is it an advantage if you start at a young age? I'm saying as a teenager or as a young boy, you find that this person has this talent, or it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. But personally, I feel it's better to start early. Yeah, start early. When you start early, it gives that age. You know, I think children's brains are a little bit sharper, quote unquote, yeah. So I feel if you start early, it gives them room to develop. It gives them more time to develop themselves. You have the whole teenage stage to your 20s and all, and then for someone out there that feels maybe it's too late to start art, no, you can start anytime. Yes.
Now, someone out there might be thinking like that's for the stereotype parents that are thinking possibly for my child to be an artist, there's that possibility, as you said earlier, that he could be poor. Now, I would want you to surprise our viewers out there with you mustn't say the price, but at least a figure. You understand? Maybe 6 digits, 7 digits. Is it in foreign, hard, soft currency of what you've one of your works possibly that you've sold. You understand? And how lucrative that can be to anybody who wants or who is having doubt. Having doubt putting his child forward for that.
I don't know, but I feel like you're putting me up for a temptation to put up prices, but no.
You can just call, let's say,
Arts-
6 digits or 7 digits, or if it's not up to that.
It's gonna give you anything, but I'll say this, yeah. Art art can bring a whole family out of poverty. When I'm saying poverty, not average. When I'm saying poverty, not average, like from 0 penury to 100. So I choose that, and I recommend that too, because I feel if okay, let me just give you the figures, but not definite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do.
So it depends on how you are able to develop yourself. You can just start being an artist today and put up $1,000 on your work. Keep it in your store forever. So I feel the more you work, the more you develop, the more your collectors, people see the growth in your work. My price in 2020, my price in 2022 is different from this year.
Yes.
Obviously, because the same work I was putting in my work last year is not the same today.
You have developed.
Yeah. So that's just it.
Was that, if your prices have increased, was that a factor of increase in prices of stuff, or you chose to put more value on your art?
I think the prices of materials is out of the whole creating value for art. Yeah. Because if it's about materials, right, I think an average art should sell for like maybe $1 million or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not actually about the materials, except for a few artists that uses maybe diamonds, crushed diamonds or something. Those ones, obviously their materials are expensive. But for an average artist, you use acrylic and all of that. So the price of an art is not determined by
Materials.
materials,
Mediums used.
mediums and all of that. I feel like it's determined by the artist.
No.
It's the name. Someone will tell you, I'd spend $1 million on a Marco Boafo and put up a Tolu Lokwe diamond. I'll be like, oh, can't spend 1,000. So that's it. So it's the name. Your name is your brand. Your name is your value.
Okay.
And when I'm saying the names, I mean the works. Your works.
So lots of questions to ask, so but let's begin to wind down. And I know we're in the age of digitalization of everything, right? Everything is being digitalized. I know you can go up on the internet and you pull up a drawing. I hear that you can also just impute and you have your own art personalized to you. Yeah. So I'm concerned about creativity. So this is a 2-in-1 question for you. Your form of art, do you guys feel threatened by the emergence of AI, the emergence of digital art? That's one. And two, as a creative, do you think that AI is causing some havoc in the creative space for people? Do you think people are not beginning to think again, and people are just depending on, okay, I can just impute this and get this, and we're no longer trying to process stuff ourselves?
Yeah, thank you. I think that's one of the things, or that's one of the major issues in the world at this moment, right? NFT came some time ago, and a lot of people invested in it. Yeah, good for them. But I feel like art is wide enough, right? So digital art, it's another form of art, and I don't think one form of art can pose any threat to another.
Oh.
Yeah, especially at this time that the world is changing. It's expected. The world is going digital. You have electric cars, so I'm sure that digitalization is pulling its way to art too. But it's no way a threat to traditional artists. No way.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question, do you think people are becoming less creative because they can just depend on the internet for everything? Or is that also some form of creativity, the fact that you can go on the internet and get answers to everything?
Yeah, you can go on the internet and get answers to a lot of things. But those things there, they came from someone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not abracadabra. It came from someone. So I feel like to push originality, it has to be your own thing. At times I want to go on Google, type stuffs, and I'll be like, I've been traveling, going to places, meeting people, and trying to see if I could actually do this thing without the help of Google or putting up stuffs. What is this? What is that online? Yeah, as much as it's easier to put questions up online or put. I think some people say, someone told me recently that why will I pay you a huge amount of money when I can download an app, push my picture there, my selfie, create it so fine, go out there, print it, then boom, I'll be fine artwork. But trust me, it's just mindset. It's totally different. It's not original. I'd say that. There's a school of thought that said this whole AI thing is it's stealing. If I'm not putting up stuff together, yeah. It's you see some AI works that look so much like typical artist
Something
work.
somebody
Yeah.
else has done.
So I feel like AI is not just running these things on its own. It's probably picking people's styles and ideas
From what we
together
fed into the
for
internet.
almost free or free. There was a protest against it some time ago, but I think it's down now. Why? Because time will tell. Time has told a lot about NFT now.
Yeah.
All right, now talking about creativity and how you will be looking at some of your works. What usually motivates you, or what's the concept behind all the works that you've done?
Sincere, yeah. Family motivates me a lot.
Okay.
Family. I love my family very much, and my experiences with them pushed me to start art professionally. Yeah, I skipped this the other time. I've been painting, or let me say I've been drawing all of my life, but I started art professionally in 2018. Yeah,
Okay.
professionally I started art in 2018. That was when I could say, okay, yeah, I'm a studio artist now. I'm not just formally. Yeah, I'm not just drawing for drawing's sake. So I feel like it's having an ideology for your style and all of that. It helps the artist to understand his environment. Like I get motivated a lot when I see people. Yeah, I travel to at times when I'm down on maybe ideas or something. Maybe not. I go out, just take a stroll. So I am motivated by the silence of the unnoticed. Yeah, I say that a lot. The silence of the unnoticed in the sense that no matter how dumb or clear-headed you are, there's something on your mind.
Yeah.
There's something you don't want to say to anyone. There's something on your mind that you want to say, but maybe you know where to say it. Because when I was way younger, I had many things in my head that I would never say, and maybe I've never said any of it till now. So I think a lot of times I get so bothered saying them. So which is one of the things that made me push myself into drawing, paintings. So someone sent me a text some time ago. She saw my works. Who are you? Why are you painting like this? I was like, I don't get it. Then she said, your works makes me feel like there is something in you that I need to know. Right?
Oh, wow.
That did-
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I feel like that's how art should make people feel. Question. There should be a question popping from every art piece you see. It's not just about the beauty. I think these days the beauty and aesthetics is a theme, while the idea and the artist's mind is more
Inner connection.
inner connection with the art.
Now, also, I believe there should be a union for artists in Nigeria.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, I don't know whether maybe you guys should consider a way where the materials could be locally made, and so that it will reduce the whole impact of price inflation and all that. But still, that also Have you ever considered, or maybe you've done that before, creating or organizing an exhibition, or maybe you've partaked in some, or you have plans to do
Thank you. Let me talk about the material thing here.
Yeah.
There's a body of art in Nigeria, SNA, Society for Nigerian Artists, but they need to do more. Well, let me say we need to do more on that in sensitizing people, kids about art and all. Then talking about exhibitions, I've had a couple of shows.
that? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had a show in 2021 in Lagos,
Okay.
then another one in 2021 December in UK with a gallery there, and I have other stuffs coming up too.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe before or while you're at it, maybe you can let us know of whatever you're cooking, so that we'll bring you here and hear more about that.
Yeah, and where to find the things you're cooking.
Okay, there's a whole lot coming.
Okay.
You know, I think I'll be proud to say I'm excited for what is to come. Yeah, but when it's out, everyone will see.
We'll see.
Art is not just for me; it's for everyone. It's for everyone.
All right. All right. Now, on a final note, we're running out of time. I don't know. Maybe you have I have some list that I would want you to address. Possibly the governments regarding art, the stereotype parents out there, those that haven't just blank minds about art, they just feel it's just something that is art. I don't know whether you have a word or two, just to clarify that, just for them to understand that there's more to it than meets the eye. At least we have cases where Leonardo da Vinci's works, Michelangelo's works are still being celebrated, and they are like one of the most expensive, if you ask me, works that we have on the planet. Regardless of whatsoever, they are still trying to make sure that still stays alive.
Thank you. About advising or talking about government or parents, stereotype parents actually. I think I'll talk to the creative mind first.
Okay.
Yeah. Your passion will not feed you. That's a fact. People talk a lot. I have passion for art. Used to draw when I was young, blah blah blah. But it will not feed you if you don't feed it first. How do you feed
Yeah.
your passion? With work.
Word.
So about the stereotype parents, I feel when the child is ready, because I don't know, I said something in one podcast interview the other day. I said everything around me, all of my life, has been against me doing arts till now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And you're coming out stronger.
stronger and better actually. So that's it. So I think for a creative mind, you have to do these things against all odds. There is no excuse for it. There is no, oh, my dad didn't let me study, blah blah blah. Yeah, I didn't study art too, but I had to find a way to, maybe through YouTube, asking questions from people that knows better.
Mentorship.
Yeah, mentorship and all of that. So that's it. And to the government too. I think they have a lot of work to do. A lot in the creative industry. You see how the creative and entertainment industry is booming. I think someone even said that's the only sector in Nigeria that is working. So
Continuous.
Actually, it has
yeah,
thrived.
so that's it. The government needs to do better.
All right. Thank you so much, Tolulope. Fortunately, we're out of time, but it was very exciting and insightful having you around. And that's all we can take for now on this segment. Please do stay tuned. We still have more coming your way on New Dawn Nigeria. New Dawn Nigeria, and on this segment we bring to you what's trending and what's new in the tech space, the entertainment industry, real estate, you call it what, as long as it interests us, we bring it to you. So over the week, Meta, the social media, or I call it tech conglomerate, announced an emergence, if I can call it that, of a new app, a new social media platform called Threads. And our Threads is said to be a rival of Twitter. And I don't have Threads yet. I have not downloaded Threads on my phone. What I have with me in the studio, Ebenezer Ayodele. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
And he is here to make a case for Threads. If I should be on Threads or I shouldn't be on Threads. So is that the case? Are you making a case for Threads?
I guess I am, but I mean, it's a tech-based app, so you should be on Threads.
I should be on Threads.
Because, we all have ideas we want to share, just like Twitter. It's okay. First of all, it's not a copy app of Twitter because a lot of things are going on about that. Threads is an app on its own. Yes, it's the same idea. It's a text-based app, but it's just like other social medias, where we have Facebook, Instagram, and the likes.
Yeah.
It's a new app, but it's not a new type of social media because other type of text-based apps have existed previously.
Okay, so it's not what's the word? It's not a game-changing app. It's like what we've seen. It's like what we've seen because it's said to be similar to Twitter. Or it's said to be, because if not, I don't know why there is case of rivalry and competition.
I'll say this, it's a Twitter killer.
It's a Twitter killer.
Yes, because
something can kill Twitter.
When you say an app is another app's killer, it's like the replacement for Twitter.
Yeah.
Because with a whole lot of things going on with Twitter, there are staffs leaving, they're having limitations on posts you can view, having so many issues with verification and stuff like that. Not just Twitter's users are going to come into Threads. Well, new people that, like someone like you that have never used a text-based app,
Yeah.
will want to use Threads over Twitter because of the benefit Threads presents.
What benefit?
Okay, it's new, and it's linked with your Instagram. You use Instagram, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Threads now, it's like a subsidiary of Instagram,
Okay.
with Meta being their parents
Yeah.
company that produced both of them. But it's the same thing that worked on Instagram that worked on Threads. Threads is basically a text-based app with Instagram's user interface. So it's when you're using Threads, it's like you're on Instagram but text-based. So
Okay.
you don't see as much pictures and videos the way you see reels on Instagram. You see text.
More of text.
Yeah.
So it's more of like information, because I know that a lot of people go on Twitter for information. A lot of bodies, international bodies and the rest, most of them have their Twitter handles as where they release even official statements.
Yeah.
I know last year, I think is he a governorship candidate or something like that in the US? He made his announcement of running over Twitter. Should we expect to see those kinds of things on Threads? Like, are people going to go to Threads for genuine and first-hand information like they do on Twitter?
Yes, that is the idea. But I'll say that Twitter's not over yet, because Twitter already has like a platform where Twitter has over 300 million users, and Twitter has been the dominating text-based app for a long time. But Threads right now, which just came out like yesterday,
Yeah.
6th of July, Threads under 2 hours they gained 1 million users.
Okay, so like I was telling you before,
Okay.
I would say that there's what do they even call it myself? It's treading on the benefits of other social media platforms, which
of course.
Twitter at the time when it came out did not have.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's give Twitter that benefit, that it had to thrive on its own when social media was becoming a new form of media and a new
Yeah,
space,
yeah.
which is what Thread does not have now, right? So I'm just thinking like, okay, let me ask the question: is Threads really competition for Twitter?
Threads is actually a really big competition for Twitter. If Twitter doesn't step up their game, Threads will knock them off the market. Because look at Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people, like me personally, I don't use Facebook.
No.
I use
This is
Instagram.
still now. Yeah.
Personally, I don't use Facebook.
No.
I use
This is
Instagram.
still now. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's not like as if everybody's going to abandon Twitter and start using Thread. It's just that the newer generation, the previous
Are going
generation,
to
are going to
be on-
migrate to Threads and start using Thread because there are a lot of limitations on Twitter.
Yeah. And Threads, no limitations. Those limitations
Yeah, I'm not saying
don't
there are
apply.
not limitations, but Thread is new, and the fact that it's new means that it is a whole lot of space for improvement.
Yeah.
So there's there are millions of reviews already of Threads. So there's a whole lot of feedback from the producers, from the
Positive
developers,
reviews.
positive, both critics too.
More critics.
So
Okay.
there's a
Yeah,
lot-
and we need those critic reviews to help in the improvement of
the app
the
itself.
app. Yeah. So you did mention that Threads is like you called it like a subsidiary of Instagram or something like that. Is it a sister app? And then my question is now, does it work independently of Instagram or is it dependent on Instagram?
Okay, for now it is dependent on Instagram because when you're signing up, you have to have an Instagram account.
Okay.
So Thread is linked to Instagram in the sense that it's your Instagram. You log in with your Instagram. You know the way you log in with Google when you want to
Sign up for something. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to, for you to have a Thread account right now, you have to have Instagram.
Okay.
And people that even when you've not signed up for Threads, people that have signed up for Threads that have you on Instagram can automatically follow you, but they have to request to follow you. They don't just follow you like Instagram and be able to see your posts and
The
stuff like that.
request to follow.
A request
But-
to follow. You have to confirm their followers request.
Okay, so so are you now trying to say that my Instagram account is my Threads account?
Yeah. For now, right now.
For now, right now, that is what it is. My Instagram is my Threads account. Okay, so this discussion is leading me to ask about demographic interest of the Threads app because like I saw a post. It was actually my friend Basiti posted, and she was like, Threads is the TikTok for the millennials. Do you agree to this?
Well, I don't know. I always look at like technology like it's not a generational thing.
It's for everyone.
But at the same time, yes, in the sense that a lot of Gen Z, not roughly Gen Z millennials, they are not really on Twitter. So Threads is new. It's new to social media, to the social media world.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people want to trend on new
Yeah,
social media.
yeah.
So it begs opportunity. Like you can see some people become really popular on a particular app, but they're not popular on another
This
app.
is now asking me. This is leading me to another question because do we know anything about the algorithm? Because I know it's actually hard because I know a lot of people love to trend. It's actually hard to trend on places like Instagram.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
difficult. Sometimes you have to meet all these people that tell, oh, you have to use this hashtag, use this, use that. But I think it's easier somehow to trend on Twitter because I think Twitter makes your information, I don't know, makes your information to trend. Is that the same thing or is that what we're expecting to see on Threads? Or is the algorithm really going to be as stringent as it is on Instagram?
Okay, well, just like Twitter, Threads is like a public platform. Anything you post on Threads is public. So literally, someone search it on Google, types a search, and they'll find what you post. It's accessible. Anybody can reply. I don't know. Maybe if your account is private, because I've not actually tried the private account. I'm just trying public for the first time now. So at the same time, the algorithm, like you said, they do it in a way that the same algorithm that you see, it's linked to your Instagram, your own personal Instagram.
Okay,
so they
okay.
personalize it. That the same
Okay.
algorithm you see on Instagram,
Instagram
is
is
what
what
you're
you
going to
find.
see on Threads.
Oh, I see.
But if you're not following the same people on Threads as you are on Instagram, there's a possibility of the algorithm being different. And just like other apps, you have the choice to shape what you want to see. But they will
Okay.
still give you things based on your location.
Okay. So I know that there's a lot of talk of, I don't think we can go into the legal issues or the legal matters that are beginning to rise, but I want us to pick one similarity since you said it is not a copy, right? It's not a copy of Twitter. So let's pick this. I know what happens on Twitter is that people go to Twitter to find what's trending. So when you click on the search, it takes you to trends, you see trends. Is that the same on Threads?
Okay. Like I said previously, it's not over for Twitter yet. Twitter is still the place where information goes around. So trends, they're not yet there. They might get there, but Twitter has a larger space, a larger audience. So most likely, trends happening on Twitter will happen on Threads, but they will still have more interaction on Twitter than on Threads. Because not even all Instagram users right now are using Threads. But Twitter, even if they've never had an Instagram account, so Twitter users, like main Twitter users, people that use Twitter all the time, they use Twitter like to keep up with the trends. But it's possible for Threads to do something like that. But I've not really seen that feature yet. That feature of what's trending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've not seen that feature of what's trending today.
Okay, so talking about, you said something about Twitter having that space, right? And do you see, what do they call? Do you see Threads coming for Twitter in terms of numbers
of users?
Numbers of users, yes.
Of course, because the possibility for Threads is huge. I mean, they have Meta right now, Meta the company, the parent company, they have 2 billion users worldwide in all apps, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, even WhatsApp. WhatsApp owns Meta, yeah. So these users, they are going to easily migrate to Threads, especially Instagram users. Because right now, if you have an Instagram account and a Threads account, on your profile it shows a number because there's no username for Threads. I feel like it's linked to your Instagram, so there's a code on your Instagram that takes you to Threads, and Threads takes you to Instagram. So someone that finds you on Threads can easily go back to your Instagram page to check your page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, Threads has more advantage because it's under the conglomerate and they have the numbers. Let it be said today that Ebenezer has projected that Threads is coming for Twitter in terms of the numbers, but I know they have something to their advantage anyway. So let's see how that goes. You're making a case for Threads. I might just download Threads before the end of the day. I might just go on the app. Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for selling Threads to us and to me. And that's all we can take on this segment. Please do stay tuned. We still have more for you on the program. Back. It's been a wonderful time on New Dawn Nigeria today. You just saw a review on the new platform, on the new social media platform, Threads. Phillips, are you going on that platform?
The thing is, how long am I going to be on that platform? Because I signed, I got on, I would say yesterday, or rather, I signed on when I heard that platform is released, so I'm already there. Okay. Let's just see what turns out.
Let's see if you'll be socially active on that platform. It's been wonderful coming to your screens this day on News Dawn, and we hope to come your way again. And from me, Chinon Supam, is wishing you a wonderful weekend and a beautiful week ahead.
And remember, security is everyone's business. It's not only for the security operatives. So when you see something, try and say something. Try and stay safe. And of course, be the very best of yourself. My name is Phillips Livin. Do have a great weekend.